Well, Mikel, 5 goals, 2 of them from teenagers. The team you hold up as the benchmark, soundly beaten. I mean, the days come much better than this.
Yeah, it's a great day for us, obviously, especially with the necessity that we had to win the game to sustain the pressure up there. And the manner that we've done it, obviously, really, really pleased. You need everything in these games. There are moments that we were very dominant, moments that we had to suffer and be deep, moments that we need a bit of luck, and we had it. But overall, obviously, a very happy day.
Was the way you pressed them, the way you squeezed them, certainly for the first 2 goals, absolutely key to your success today?
Yeah, there are moments in the game that you can have those ones, and sometimes you are very willing to press them, and they are that good that it's very difficult, and they hold you very, very deep. And on those moments, you have to suffer, and as I said, sometimes be a bit lucky. But overall, I think we scored some beautiful goals in different manners, and the team showed a really high competitive level.
You spoke before the match about micro games or micro decisions, little details that might decide it. What were those details that decided today?
Because a really thin line. You know, you go on high press and you win it, great. You hold the ball after winning it, great. If not, you defend your box, you know. And it's a team that demands you everything because they are so good. And we'll have those margins. Today they went our way.
So the few seconds it was 1-1. Quite anxious at that point?
Yes, obviously, because obviously that gives them momentum. And we had on that period as well, we were deep for 4, 5, 6 minutes in a row. We didn't defend the ball in the box that well, and then they have this quality. Obviously, you know, when you allow Haaland in the duel 1-against-1 with the biggest space in the box, he's capable of doing that.
I mentioned your teenagers, particularly Miles Lewis-Skelly today. How do you feel for him, especially after what he went through last weekend?
Yeah, you need big individual performances against this team to beat them in the manner that we've done, and Miles was certainly one of them. The maturity that he showed, the competitiveness as well. On top of that, he scores a goal, probably is not in the books. Great, and Ethan comes in again and he plays with that personality again, and he's got a beautiful goal.
With Miles, just tell us a bit about his journey. I've heard you talk about it a little bit in your press conference. You saw him and he was a midfielder. How have you got him ready for this team, and how has he got himself ready for this team?
It's him. He's been pushing us since he's been with us. We really like the character, the personality. He's got so much courage. He's very well prepared. He's very intelligent, and he's got qualities that fit in the way we want to play. And then he earned the right to get respected by the teammates. Then he got some minutes, he got them, and he's asking for more. And when the competition is high, he deserves to play.
What did you make of the spirit today's game was played in? There was maybe a few moments where it looked like it might spill over, but I guess you'd expect a bit of that between 2 big rivals at the top of the Premier League. And I think you've just walked towards your interview, you and Pep together, so all seems well.
You have to. I mean, you're going to suffer in periods of the game, you know that. And we did it when we had to do it, again, with a bit of luck in the right moments. And then we have the opportunity to win the game and be ruthless. Today we were.
OK, so it's been a Sunday to celebrate for Arsenal fans. Might it be a Monday to celebrate for Arsenal fans as well with what you do in the transfer market? How likely is something, Mikel?
I don't know. I've just been focused the last 24 hours on what we had to do to try to beat Man City. Now we've done it. Okay, we will discuss the situation as we always do, and then Newcastle, that's the important thing.
But, I mean, you've talked about, I know guys like me have asked you again and again, how necessary is it that you get something in? But then I guess you don't want to leave yourself in a situation in the summer where you've eaten into your budget and PSR constraints and stuff like that.
No, it's about the intentions, and the intention, I think we've been very clear from every angle what we want to do, and the other one is the reality and what you are able to do.
So it's possible?
It's always possible.
What a result. These are the great days, aren't they, Martin? Man City, the champions here, and not just beaten, but really well beaten, 5-1.
Yeah, it was a top game, top performance, and yeah, with the fans, the atmosphere, and in the end, the score sheet like that is, can't be better, so very happy.
Kai, how did you do it?
Yeah, I think we managed to press them quite well. Didn't give them much time. I mean, still they're a top team, and sometimes they beat the press, but I think our energy was good. We used our chances, and at the end, I think it was a good game.
So you two are absolutely key to that press, leading that press. What is key to getting that right? You know, like going, but maybe not going too early, luring them in, that kind of thing?
I think it's the timing, you know. I mean, we train it a lot of times, and I think it's not only us two; it's everyone. I think when we push and go to the defensive players, everyone needs to push through, and I think the energy there is very important. And obviously, we are the first ones to press, but the rest of the team, they're doing it excellent as well.
And of course, it all started with you two, Kai laying on your goal for you, Martin. Just a word for Kai. I mean, you all love him. You can hear the crowd love him. How important is he to this team?
Yeah, massive impact again today. You know, you see everything he does. He score again, assist. He's always there. You know, with and without the ball, massive impact. So yeah, top player. So yeah, good to have him in the team.
Yeah, pleased to see the goal go in, obviously. But I mean, I won't go into too many history books, but you've had to wait a little bit for the goal.
Yeah, yeah, it was about time. It was good, you know. And after we didn't stop, we just kept on going. And in the end, I think we got what we deserved. And yeah, it was a good one.
Okay, lovely confident finish for your goal. How did you feel seeing that go in?
Yeah, it was nice. I think I was a bit frustrated from the chance of the first half, so I thought to myself, I need to score one. And yeah, when I saw it going in, obviously I was very happy.
Did you just, when Martin was talking about you, did you just say not enough, something like that when Martin was talking? Just as Martin was talking about you a second ago.
No, I said it's enough because he was so positive about me.
Yeah, you're quite a partnership, you two, aren't you, Martin?
Yeah, we have a good connection. You know, we understand each other. You know, I know where he wants the ball and where he wants to move, and yeah, intelligent player. You know, so it's good to play with him, and yeah, not just him, the whole team. I think we have a great connection. You know, everyone, and we know each other so well now, and yeah, you can really see that on the pitch.
Well done, guys. Brilliant.
Thank you.
It was a thumping, convincing win for Arsenal against Manchester City. Did you see that coming at half-time, Thierry?
No, not half-time, I'll be honest, because I felt there was like a bit of a drop after the goal that we scored.
Do you think that was a deliberate drop? Do you think that was very much a concerted plan to get in front?
No, I don't think so. I've seen that so many times this year at the Emirates where we go ahead early and then we kind of passive with it. And I do believe, and I said it so many times, when we are on the front foot and we go and put pressure and we play higher, and obviously here at the Emirates also, nobody can live with us. But we gave Man City the opportunity, as you mentioned, to be in and around the box, put crosses in, and then Alan did what Alan does. And then once we again had to score a goal, we went back up, putting pressure. Yes, I know Phil Foden missed the pass, but we were there. We were higher to go and put pressure, and then the rest is history. We'll know about it. So I don't know why, even after the 1-0, you don't carry on playing the same way and being way higher.
But you just think what difference a 5-1 makes as opposed to a 2-1 to a team. Tell us.
Yeah, I just think confidence, isn't it? I think when we thought about this game today, could they do it in a big moment? And I think today they took their moments really well, Arsenal. Obviously, City wasn't great, but yeah, you've got to give credit to Arsenal.
Well, here is another of their successful team today, Declan Rice, who joins us live from the tunnel area downstairs. Congratulations to you, Declan. Not sure if you heard the guys there just talking about how emphatic it was in the end and how important it was to make such a statement. Did you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the scoreline in the end, 5-1, is an unbelievable score. I think from the moment we stepped out on that pitch today, we had that fire in our belly. We really wanted to win the game, obviously, from what happened at the Etihad at the start of the season. We really wanted to go out there and amend that, and I think we did. But up until they scored the goal, I thought it was an even game, to be honest. I thought they still posed a really good threat. They had a lot of the ball. We had to sit deep at times, and Man City, look, we won 5-1, but they're still a top side and they can still punish teams. And when it went 1-1, you maybe think that the momentum might shift, but you know, in the end, then we kept pushing and we won the ball off another high press, got the goal of Thomas, and then from that moment we kept to push on, and in the end to win 5-1 was top. But I thought it was a really tough game. Well, I felt that out there anyway.
Just regarding the feeling amongst your group going into the game, Declan, how much did you talk about the first game and the bad blood that was obviously there between the two teams?
Yeah, look, I think this is a thing that's been building up over a certain amount of time. Obviously, they nicked the title off Arsenal the year. Obviously, I wasn't here, and then last year they beat us to the title. So it's been hard to accept that. And then obviously with the Etihad at the start of the season and everything that went on there, you do kind of have that, like I said, that fire in your stomach to want to come out here today at your home stadium and try amend that. And you know, in the end we did, and we're so happy. The boys are buzzing in there, but there's still such a long way to go. Obviously, we've beat them today. We now go on to Wednesday, which is massive, and we've got to keep pushing because we're still a couple points off the top, and that's where we want to be. So yeah, we've got to keep going.
Declan, you were man of the match today, and a couple of assists, a pre-assist as well, I think, on the first goal, and that's something you've been questioned for since you've come to Arsenal. So how pleased were you with how it went for you personally today?
Yeah, so happy. Obviously helpful on the first one. I think Kai, I won the tackle on the second one. He could have scored, and then to obviously get the 2 in the second half, especially the last one. Don't think a lot of people think I've got that in my locker, but I see that 5 seconds before and knew I was going to play that pass out to Ethan before Gabby even sent me the ball. So to get 2 assists was really, really big. I need to keep adding assists and goals to my game, especially if I'm going to keep playing the number 8 position. It obviously gets spoken about a lot, but it's something I'm putting the demands on myself much more. So as long as I can keep helping the team, I'm feeling way better in myself than I did at the start of the season. So just got to keep going and helping this club, try and achieve silverware, which is why I'm here and why everyone else is here.
Declan, this is Thierry.
Hello.
Well done for the win. I wanted to ask you something. We were talking to obviously Martin Odegaard before and Kai Havertz, and people were praising on how they were pressing, obviously. But how is it to play right behind them, and also with the work that the wingers are doing on the side for you? I'm sure it's easier to be able to concentrate on staying in the middle and not going too wide, because you know the pressing is on point on the side.
You're spot on. I think, honestly, the manager gives us absolutely everything tactically, right down to the last thing you could even imagine. Like, we're the only ones that have to go out there and do that. You know, the press is all set up from him, and how we play and how we press and everything. So for me, I know my role. I knew who I had to mark. I knew how I could press and win the ball back today. And like you said, I think Martin and Kai, they go under the radar, especially Martin, just because people think he's a luxury player and, you know, he's there to get on the ball and play. His pressing and the way he gets after the ball and sets the team off is outstanding, and especially Kai as well. I'm so happy for him. There's obviously so much talk around him, but what he offers us as a team is unbelievable. And, you know, these guys are top, and, you know, we're all top, but we have to keep going. You know, we need to keep pushing, and let's see where the season can go. But today was a really good day, and it's been one of the best days since I've been at Arsenal. So, yeah, let's keep pushing.
Thank you.
Declan, you were involved in the title race last season, your first experience of that. You just come short with Manchester City. Is there anything you may be going about differently in terms of maybe, with it being Liverpool this season, you know, looking at each other's results? Is there something that you've learned from last year's experience that you can use to your benefit this season?
Well, do you know what? Liverpool are still quite far in front, especially with the game in hand, and with them winning obviously yesterday. You know that, well, we know going into the game that we have to win these games. It's more disappointing, Cara, that it's the games like the Villas where we're 2-0 up and we drop them type of points. The Brightons away where we're winning, where we could be up there closer to Liverpool. But look, like the manager says every time, you know, we'll be there, we'll keep pushing, and we do need other teams to help us. But Liverpool, credit to them, you know, they've been really, really good so far. They've got top players, and it's down to us to hunt them. They've got themselves in this position. So look, there's respect to them, but we obviously know the goal that we want, and then that's to hunt them down and obviously to win the Premier League. That's what we want to do. Still a long way to go. Still so many games to play, but we need to stay positive and keep taking each game as it comes, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
I love your message, Declan. You want to hunt them down. I tell you what, that performance, that result has got Jamie twitchy anyway in here. That's the good news. That's the good news. But listen, you were Gary Neville's player of the match. That was backed by everybody in the studio as well, I have to say, Declan. And there is the trophy. Congratulations on a great performance.
Have a good day.
Well done.
Thank you. See you later.
Declan Rice.
You're a bit sheepish now, aren't you?
It wasn't that game, it was the Tottenham game.
Well, actually, Jamie, you made the point before the game in saying that he was, for you, the key man. If he turned up, that you didn't feel that City's midfield could live with him.
Listen, that's not anything special to say. I think we've seen that, you know, in the last few weeks, whoever City have came up against. But I almost feel it sometimes that I'm almost one of Declan Rice's biggest supporters, because I do find myself scratching my head when I see people criticise him and you sort of asking for more goals and assists. Now, I know the game in the last sort of 10, 15 years, especially on the show that we do, tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, we look at numbers and analyse things. And I think when you played alongside Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit were behind you in midfield, they were two of the greatest midfield players in the world at that time, and two of the greatest midfield players we've ever seen in the Premier League. I don't remember anyone talking about how many goals or assists they got. Now, they chip in, they didn't get a lot, probably 5 or 6 a season. For me, Declan Rice is one of those type of all-round midfield players, a little bit like Roy Keane, a little bit. And he said he's playing in the number 8 position, so he's playing a little bit higher. But for me, he's almost like a throwback to a midfield player who used to play in a 4-4-2 system. He could do a bit of everything. Now, for me, I think he's a wonderful player. I think his passing range is vastly underrated. You see that with the pass he put out there, but I see him in terms of build-up and getting on the ball, his power, everything about him, his pressing early on. He's just, for me, he's an absolute, a wonderful midfield player.
An outstanding performance, player of the match, a couple of assists and a pre-assist as well. That you
Roberto Martinez.
And you could obviously sense that Declan's really keen to build on his numbers. The numbers very much went against Manchester City today, a 5-1 defeat. Here's John Stones now giving his reaction to Patrick Davison.
Well, John, you're obviously a proud team and you've been great champions. So how much does it hurt to lose like that here?
Oh, yeah, it's difficult. I think all of us don't take losing well. It's hard for me to put into words, actually, straight after a game like that. Pride's hurt. Sorry to the fans that travel to come and watch that, and how we played in the last 30 minutes was not acceptable. As a collective, you know, it's not us. It's not nice to be involved in that when you know, it's not your team or yourself within those situations. And I give credit to Arsenal. This is not an easy place to come to, and they've played really well against us. I thought 65 minutes we played some great football at times. We're in the game, you know. It was a swinging point, I suppose, and yeah, it swung the wrong way for us, and I'm angry, upset, personally and collectively of how the game finished for many reasons.
So what happens in that last half an hour? Because at that point, you're probably favourites to win it. When it goes 1-1, probably most people would say City the most likely winners. Why the collapse?
I don't know. That's the magic question. To get us back after half-time is a great feeling, a good situation to be in, and then to concede after that from deflection, I think it was off me, or a bit of luck, or however you want to look at it.
Is that pure luck, that deflection?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult when there's an overload at the back and you've got to make a split-second decision to come out, and you know, they've got the luck on that one, and it's gone in. I could have maybe stayed more square or whatever it might have been. I'll have to watch it back. But yeah, we can't let those situations get on top of us, and you know, they score another goal, we can go and score one back, and it seemed to be the opposite. We stopped doing the things that we were meant to, and yeah, difficult for me to put into words.
You said you weren't happy with the end part of the match for many reasons. Are you talking about stuff going on between the two teams? That's obviously been or was an issue in September. Or are you just talking about City here and mistakes you've made?
Yeah, no, just how it finished. Just obviously to concede the goals that we did, to allow them to have so much of the ball towards the end is frustrating when we're a team that is so dominant in our own play, with keeping the ball, moving it, controlling the tempo of the game. You know, I've been on both sides of it, and today was the wrong side to be on for all of us in the dressing room. It's a emotional place in many ways, and yeah, we want to come back from this, bounce back quickly. Not erase it, because I believe these things make you stronger and make you learn and realise what we've done over the seasons and what we're capable of doing. But for our fans, for everyone that follows us and has gone through the good and bad times, and today is one of the bad times, we need to make it right again.
Lastly, John, is the truth that we've seen today and over the last few months that just you're a team in transition, an era's coming to an end for a great Premier League team?
I wouldn't say it's coming to an end. I think it's a lot of different things that I still haven't figured out. Why we're not picking up the results that we have done in previous seasons. Why it's not clicked. The passion's there, the heart's there in training. Everyone's got the right intention, which is one of the most important things. And you know, we haven't got to where we are without difficult times, and that's through everyone's career to get us to where we are right now, and we all need to stick together. I think that's a key point, that we don't start pointing fingers, and we look at ourselves first and foremost within that dressing room, and come together as a team and try and make this right.
Thank you for coming out, John.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well spoken.
Yeah, not an easy interview to do that after a 5-1 result at Arsenal. How would you sum up the City team that we saw in the last 30 minutes or so of that game?
It's exactly the same team that I saw against Feyenoord, same team that I saw against Brentford at the end, the same team that I saw, you know, I mean, I can name... What is that? Is when they pass an hour, I will go back to what you said, the intensity of the game. You need to be able to run. And I've played on the Pep. To be able to stay there for 90 minutes, putting pressure, deal with the transition, it's not easy. And can we, in bracket, give them a pass? That's the first year that they cannot do it. You know, I think that's the first year also we can challenge Pep in terms of the player that he brought, comparing to the players that he had. He had Alvarez, he had Mahrez, he had Cole Palmer. He decided to go to other guys that it didn't work. Do I feel sorry? You were asking the question to you, Micah, before. Do I feel sorry about what's happening to Man City and Pep? Yeah, I do. In one thing, it's not easy to deal with what Pep has to deal with outside of football. I went through that when I went to Barcelona. It's not easy to deal with stuff like that when you're not well mentally. You can see that he's not his usual self. Having said that, if we go back on the field at new football...
Sorry, you're talking about his personal life?
Yeah, personal life. I had to deal with it when I went to Barcelona. I can tell you it's not easy. No one will like to deal with that while you have to perform all the time. So I think we can understand. Now, if you go back on the field, it's not good enough. It is not good enough. I don't think that they can cope whenever a team can deal with playing them all the way to 90 minutes and challenge them and looking them in their eyes all the way. They cannot deal with that at a minute.
Michael, I came here today trying to build a case for Manchester City. I said they were top scorers in Europe, just behind Barcelona and Real Madrid in 2025. Their Premier League form was improving again. They made some signings. But actually, have we seen today this is the end of an era for this?
No, I wouldn't say end of an era, maybe coming to an end. I just think we have to be realistic about it. I think Jamie made a good point about it months ago now, saying they might struggle for top four, sort of laughed it off a little bit. And he was talking about the energy and the intensity. It's not there. But the thing that I'm looking at more with Man City is on the ball. Normally they starve the opposition of the ball. They did OK in the first half. In the second half, they was giving away easy passes, individual mistakes. Foden, he's so good on the ball, but just taking that risk. Akanji, whether he's playing out. Whether it was Haaland, we didn't see Haaland again today, apart from his goal. I want him to be more aggressive. I want him to make more runs. I want him to be, you know, giving his team an option as well. So there's so many different things that are going on with Man City at this moment in time. And it is sad to see because, yeah, I don't expect him to win the league every year, but the fall-off has been so dramatic. It's sort of sad to see what's going on, but they'll bounce back.
But they still could have a say in this title race. Still got to play Liverpool. We'll come to that in a few minutes' time. Plus, we've got 6 great goals to look back on, which we'll do in a few moments as well. And just to remind you, there is...
The music's still playing. And why not? Because when you get a result like this against a team like that, you have to soak it up and enjoy it, right?
Yeah, it's very much what the stadium needed in respect of where Arsenal are going and how we're playing. The narrative kind of goes a little bit from feast to famine all the time, and you're looking at the team and what they're trying to do, and they're constantly trying to get better with everything that's gone against them. They're still right amongst it, and I think a performance like this against the City side that seemed to be looking like they were coming out of the doldrums a little bit is a magnificent performance. It's a fantastic performance.
What does that do for Arsenal's self-belief now in terms of the timing of this, having seen Liverpool go 9 clear, not just to beat City but the manner in which they did it, Michael?
Well, exactly. All of a sudden you look at it, don't you, and think, right, well, Arsenal have still got to play Liverpool. Liverpool have still got to play some tough games. Away in the Merseyside derby, next is not going to be easy. There's only 6 points between them now. All of a sudden, you just think, could they? They're in some form. Going into this game, they were in brilliant form. And that performance was as good as it gets. Imagine what the feeling is amongst the club. Not just the first team, not just the fans. Imagine the academy. There's a 17-year-old kid curling a ball into the far corner. There's a left-back that's just played one of the best games I've seen from a left-back all season, who's only 18.
Who's a midfielder?
I mean, and he's scoring with his right foot. I mean, the whole club will be absolutely bouncing after a day like that, and they've just got to keep that momentum going forward. Listen
And
to
imagine
all the fans
playing to the crowd when
as well.
the Ian Wright fan club's watching us as well.
No, it's not the fan club. This is what it's about. It means everything to us in what's going on with our manager. Our manager gets a lot of stick. He's trying to build a team that can challenge these teams like City, like Liverpool. We've seen what Liverpool are doing. And all you've got to do is put in performances like this. So as then Liverpool know, if they do slip up, Arsenal are ready to take advantage. And that's what we need to do. Be ready to take the chance. And that's why we need to take them chances some of the times.
Yeah, they're now on the longest unbeaten run in the Premier League since Mikel Arteta came to the club, Joe.
Yeah, excellent performance today and an unbeaten run, but ultimately they're just trying to put pressure on the top. Today's a great moment. I'm sure they'll take a lot of momentum from it. But Liverpool, I think it will just be hurting Arsenal, the fact that they've chased City down now. That was who they've had in their sights this whole time. It's who they've had their eyes on. They've turned them over here. They look like they had their number. They had the belief to beat them. But then to just have Liverpool, I know, look, we're saying Liverpool have done nothing wrong. They've done absolutely nothing wrong. They put in a great performance yesterday at Bournemouth. They keep taking care of business. But Arsenal can feel good today, and I'm sure they will.
That's the heartbreaking thing.
He's playing to the crowd.
Oh, he
now.
loves it.
Well,
Let him sing to the crowd, and we'll keep talking.
We'll carry on our conversation, right? You go and talk to your people.
The heartbreaking thing for Arsenal is they must have started this season and think, come on, we've got Manchester City in our eyes. If we can beat them, we're going to do it. And the heartbreaking thing, as I say, is they're absolutely ahead of City.
They keep breaking boundaries, but they need to break the number one boundary. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
But in terms of belief, in terms of an injection in confidence, if they needed it, that they can compete with the very best and do it, as I say, in that manner today, what does that say?
Yeah, we're talking about a City side that's kind of like coming out of a little bit of a poor spell, trying to get themselves going, made a couple of signings, you know. They're trying to gel it all together at the minute, and I thought that obviously Chelsea, if they won today as well, you start thinking, okay, we're starting to see some stabilising, but that result will made us all like, where's that come from? But like, you have to say, the way Arsenal continue to play, they put the pressure on, they kept the pressure on City at the back, on Phil Foden giving the ball away, kept the pressure on them, didn't give no chances to Erling Haaland, even though he scored, and they kept it tight. It felt very tight, felt like they had to earn every single thing what they tried to get today, City, and then we took chances. Win games.
I just want to put this into context today. That is only the second time that a Pep Guardiola side has conceded 5 goals in any competition in his managerial career.
Yeah.
That's what Arsenal have done today.
Yeah, but Steve, I agree with that, and it is a big moment, but City they've took some big results this season, 4 at home to Tottenham.
Yeah.
This is not City who are cruising high at the top of the league. This is a City that a few teams have felt it. You know, I was away at Brentford. They never laid down at 2-0. People aren't scared of Manchester City at the moment.
But this is an Arsenal side, Joe, where people were saying, and we were talking right at the top of our show today, can they score goals? Can they finish the chances? Can they beat Manchester City playing like this?
I agree, and full credit to Arsenal today. And the thing that really struck me, like I say, wasn't the 2-1, wasn't turning it round after 2-1. A deflected goal can happen. Partey is a bit of a hopeful shot, hit Stones' back. It was the fact they wanted 3. Then they didn't want to just sit on 3, they wanted 4. And at the end, they're having a party and they're scoring the 5th. That was the most impressive thing for me. So they really grew from this game.
Yeah, City didn't have a shot since the equaliser.
No. As Righty said, they beat them in all areas, really. They didn't look like landing a glove on Arsenal today, right from minute 1. I was so impressed with Arsenal. And, if they keep playing like that...
What impressed you the most? What impressed you the most? Because we were so close to the action here. I mean, the speed of the play and the strength and the pressing. But what impressed you the most, or perhaps surprised you the most today about Arsenal?
Yeah, I think their attitude and their belief to it, really. In that, I mentioned before the game, they've only beat 2 teams this season in the top half. You know, you go back over the last few years, they never beat Manchester City. Manchester City always beat them or they draw.
Yeah.
You know, in the big games, that might just have broken the shackles now. They can take on the champions and absolutely blitz them. And now they shouldn't be scared of anybody that comes to this place, or for that matter, wherever they go in the country.
I think they've already, when you're talking about playing here, especially, the crowd's ready to be like they were today. I think that on many occasions we've seen, again, I'm repeating myself a bit, but you need to take those chances for you to get comfortable in the game and give you that energy to keep working at what you're doing. You get that next goal, like Joe was saying, you go for the next one. And then you'll see even teams as good as City, they end up, you demoralise them, and then you just keep finishing them. And that's what we haven't done enough of in this season, particularly, missing a lot of chances. And if we could take them, we could probably do that to most teams in this league.
Right, do you think that Kai Havertz goal is a huge message for Arsenal today? The fact that obviously that narrative could have been groaning and moaning, you know, missing that chance at 1-0, going 1-1. But for him, I know it was only a fourth goal, but it was the fourth goal with the attitude and the composure that he took it.
It's funny because me and Mike was saying, you know, Mike, obviously the chance that we had when it was 1-1, and it was an easier chance, if we're going to be totally honest. And he missed that. It's like
1-0, that was 1-0.
Yeah, it was 1-0. And when it was 3-1, you're in a different headspace.
Right.
You know, he actually came back, Joe, cut inside someone, and then had to curl it over there. Whereas when he was there, he just needed to get it on target on the left. And sometimes it frees your mind up when you've got to go through when you're 3-1 and when you are 1-0 down. You know?
That's a really interesting point Joe's making, though. At 3-1, we've seen a lot of managers bring on extra players, make sure, game management, see it out. There was none of that from Arsenal today. The hunger, as he says, was there to go and get more.
Smelt blood, didn't he?
Sorry to interject. Usually we're very close to it, right? And it wasn't Arteta, you know, with how animated he can be. It was the team.
Very good point.
The team wanted it. Martin Odegaard, when he pressed, he didn't just run. Yeah. He ran, slinging his arms back like this, saying, "Come with me." Declan Rice and Partey were so tidy today. They will not get a mention, but they were excellent in just backing Odegaard up and freeing him up to really put the pressure on.
Yeah, you know, we spoke before the game as well about the goalkeeper situation and that Ederson, you know, you'd possibly lose that ball over the top into Haaland's feet. And that could have played a part. That could have given Arsenal a little bit more impetus to go and press. But I just think that the way they did press on that back four, the way they nicked it twice in the first half, scored the first goal, should have scored the second, and not killed the game off, but should have scored the second, all of a sudden it gave them so much confidence and energised them. And even in that second half, they couldn't pass out at Manchester City. They can always pass out, but they just couldn't.
Yeah. But the thing is that when you start to see it working, you've got the goals, what you're supposed to get, and then you're looking at a team and you're watching them slowly go into themselves like City. That's what happens. And so then what happens is you just get even more confident. And what's happened in too many occasions, Arsenal have missed the opportunity to get into that situation. They got into it today and really punished them.
The other little detail as well, Righty, I feel, is that going, let's say, playing that ball over, beating the press and playing a longer ball into Erling Haaland, it doesn't necessarily wash against Arsenal. Their centre-halves are so strong, so big, so aggressive.
There was one particular moment you turned to me with Saliba, wasn't there?
Yeah. I'd hate to play against him. I mean, it was a heavyweight contest, don't get me wrong, but Erling Haaland's, he's not the greatest at holding the ball up. His game is quite rough. Of course, he scores goals and everybody knows he's one of the best, most lethal strikers in the world. But his general play isn't unbelievable. No. And when you've got that power and that aggression, 2v1 against you, he's got no chance. So even if they miss the midfield and flip it over into his feet, they just bully him out the way. Yeah. And no matter what Manchester City did today, Arsenal had an answer for it.
And you know what, as well, what happens with that, it happened to me a lot, is that when they know that sometimes you're a little bit lacking a bit of confidence in that first touch to hold it up to link the play, they come all the way with you. They'll go all the way. So when it goes into Erland, they'll just be right in his back because they believe that it's going to bounce off of him. And a lot of the times it does. And then when you're able to do that, you could get straight back into them.
I think also Manchester City, they lost faith on the pitch as well. No one was running off Erling Haaland. No one was running for the flicks.
No.
On Saliba and Gabriel especially, Gabriel said today, "I'm going to take you. You're coming with me," every single time, and he was up for the battle. And Arsenal were just sending really positive messages throughout the whole game that just threw City off. They were thrown off by then. They looked like a team who'd been told to go out and play football, not a team that has dominated and set new examples of how the Premier League played. It was really impressive.
And let's take our way back to 1-0 and the way it came about. Joe hinted at this before the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, the press early on. I think John Stones possibly could have had a couple of different options here to pass elsewhere. He played into a risky, but don't get me wrong, Akanji's first touch was poor, he should have taken it away. But these are the options. If he does it quickly, I think these are the options he's got. as it happens, Arsenal push him into an area that they want. Declan Rice picks up the loose ball after a poor touch from Akanji, and then Havertz plays it across, and the guy that's just joined us taps it, or he's just walked past us, I should say.
We're going to talk to him shortly,
yeah. And
that's a beautiful pass from Declan there.
It was. Yeah. Early, straightforward.
But it's because they're all on the front foot, they're all thinking forward. No one's worrying about what's behind them. Gabriel sending the message early there to Erling Haaland. That is how Arsenal are feeling today, and they were up for it. I thought it was an incredible start.
What
are you buzzing for?
No, he's just smiling. I thought he was going to ask me so. He's just smiling.
I'm smiling because of your reaction to Gabriel's reaction.
Well, you know,
Haaland.
the thing is that like me and Joe was saying at half time, it's like that's fine in the game because like they've obviously got something. I know that Gabriel would have probably been thinking about Erling Haaland today and last night, and so the same vice versa. They want to play against each other. They want to do really well against each other, and it's turned into this now. There's housery going on, which is part of it.
You don't mind a fair fight.
No, you
bullying,
don't.
I'm not up for bullying. I'm not up for, you know, a dominant team taking the mick out of a little team. But that's two big, strong, top players having it in the middle of the football pitch in front of everyone. I love it. Yeah.